Alright, so here we are getting ready to show off some of my favorite diecasts that I've ever made. And I say made, but these race cars were something that really boosted my channel and put me on the map in NASCAR stop motion making. So I thought, you know, why not go ahead and go through all of the seasons so far in which I've used damaged diecasts and kind of just show you guys some of the really cool things about each of these cars and which made them special for both me and for the creators who are also inspired to add some more detail to their races. So today we are going through season number 4 and all of the damaged diecasts that were in it from races 1 through 8. And this is going to be a multi-part series for each individual season. So the next time we'll do season 5, and then we will do season 6 and 7. And I'll probably join in season 8 as well with season 7 because of how few cars there were. Alright, so first up here is the Alex Bowman Nationwide Chevrolet from 2018. This is both the first damaged diecast and also the first one to be reused as a damaged diecast. So here we go. The story behind why I started doing damaged diecasts was because I accidentally ordered a quantity of 2 of these Alex Bowman cars off a Circle B diecast when I first got it. And so I thought, what could I do with this? Because I wasn't going to sell it, and no one else that I knew really wanted it. So the first thing I thought about doing was, you know, kind of adding some more realism to my stop motions. And for Chicagoland Race 1, Season 4, excuse me, I made Alex Bowman crash into the outside wall in turn 1, and he hit the wall in a way where the back end caved in here. We lost a tire, and I'll get to that in a moment. Yeah, so that is the Alex Bowman car that wrecked in season number 4 at Chicagoland. Right now, it's really just me taking a hammer to it and scratching it along some concrete to get the scrapes here along the quarter panels and the fenders. This was the first attempt at it, and I gotta say I was pretty proud of myself, and it's a very iconic race for this reason. All right, next up here we've got 2. In race number 2 of season number 4, we've got the Austin Dillon car, of course, and Ryan Blaney as well. A lot of people kind of forgot about this one. We'll do Ryan Blaney first. So Austin Dillon slammed into the outside wall, I think on lap 2 of the second race of season 4 in the Pocono, and he barely clipped the back end of Ryan Blaney's car. And so I added some Sharpie to the back end here to make it look like there was some contact there. And as you can see, if it'll focus there. So this is really when I started adding detail. I took the Goodyear off the tires here to make it look like there was some tire wear. And then on the side here, I made it look like he kind of rubbed against the wall. Took off the Goodyear on this side as well. Actually, that might be chalk from the race. Yeah, I think that is chalk from the racetrack still on the car. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's the Ryan Blaney car. He came back and almost won the race too. So I thought that was a kind of a cool little storyline to add into that race. And the main event of that crash was Austin Dillon. So I'm just gonna show you the tires here. I'm gonna leave those down on the table. Yeah, so this is the first damaged car that I tore off the front end for. If it would focus, that would be awesome. There we go. So the first one I took the entire front end off. I just used pliers on this. But as you can see, it is quite mangled and really no longer looks like the front clip of a race car. This is one of my favorite crashes. I just wish the stop motion was done better. And as you can see here, I also tried to paint the front end of the car so that it kind of looked like the gold edition cars and stuff and didn't really stick out because you can still see it is the Authentics on the inside and the bottom. So, and try to add a little bit of a donut there on the door. You know, not too shabby, honestly, for my second race doing damage on the diecast. So overall, you know, pretty solid, pretty cool. And that is race number 2 at Pocono with Ryan Blaney and Austin Dillon. All right, so next up is going to be the William Byron car, another car that a lot of people forgot about, but also the Alex Bowman car again. Here is the 4th different car to get damaged. And this is William Byron. He got squeezed into the wall by, I think it was one of the leaders. It might have been Blaney, Truex, or Hamlin, and maybe Ryan Newman even in the race. I can't quite remember. But really all I did here was scuff up the tires a bit, do some little fender damage here, and a little donut here where the car pushed him into the wall. Overall, you know, it's kind of a cool little race version. Overall, I think this car turned out pretty dang cool. This is the Charlotte Roval race where nothing really happened, except for the final lap where Alex Bowman took a tumble in the infield. I even forgot that this crash happened until I, you know, watched it all back not too long ago. This is where the roof damage came from, and this is where the tire came out. So yeah, I thought that reusing this was kind of cool, but I think Alex Bowman is the driver. Yeah, I think Alex Bowman is the driver that I have the most damaged cars of. It's not even that like he's my least favorite driver, it just happens to be that way. So all right, next up we're moving on to the next race. This is Kansas, another 2-car casualty race. The big one here was Stenhouse. We'll go to Ryan Newman first. So these 2 cars tangled into the outside wall, and I believe it was Ryan Newman that got up on top of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And so right here, this is another car where there's not too much deformation on the body. It's just a lot of scuff marks. You can kind of see I flattened out the right side of the car here. A lot of paint taken off. Of course, the tires have been scrubbed off as well. This is when I also started to, let's see if I can get in close here. When I started to also kind of scuff up with a Sharpie, like a pinpoint Sharpie, to kind of make it look like some tire debris was coming off of the car. This car was all right, but I wish I caved in the rear bumper a little bit more. For the crash itself. So, but then we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. where a lot of the damage really happened here. So this third bank Ford Mustang has seen some better days. Ryan Newman climbed up on top of this. So this crash is actually pretty cool, honestly, to make. If it would focus, that would be absolutely amazing. There we go. So this one you can see is very scuffed up on the side. One thing I would do nowadays with these race cars is I would bring a red Sharpie in here, color match the back bumper of what car hit or wherever they hit. I would color match kind of like I did in my Alex Bowman crash for the NASCAR race. And I have a little bit of red up here, so there'd be that. And then the color of the wall I would also put on to the side or wherever the contact points are with the wall. So here's the duo that were in the Kansas race and crashed together. Yet Ryan Newman was on top of yet another race car. And this time it wasn't at Talladega or Daytona. All right, next up is the second to last race that had damaged diecast for the season. I did go back and watch this one because I forgot if this one was in season 5 or season 4, but it was in season 4 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I think the 23 car just had a whole bunch of different drivers in 2018, but in this specific race, it was Spencer Gallagher, which is a very interesting one. This one was really just he blew a tire or something and hit the wall at Indianapolis. And that's just about it for this one. You know, I've got some scuff marks here and there. But the big story I have with this one is that I don't know how I did this, and you could roast me for it all you want, but I don't know how I did this, but you can tell that this is a gold edition car. And I was using the Authentics car as the undamaged car. And so I think what I did was I accidentally picked up this car instead of the Authentics, and I damaged this one instead. So I'm very upset with myself for that. You know, it is what it is. And can't really go back now, so just a whole bunch of scuff ups here on the side and nothing too crazy elsewhere. So this was the first Darlington throwback car to get damaged, and overall it's an okay one. It was the first time I had a back marker in the field really get damaged. So moving on to the final race of the video, it's the Talladega season number 8. I think it was race 6 is what this one was. We're gonna go over 2 cars first because this was a 3-parter, and there was a crash earlier in the race where both Bubba Wallace and Clint Boyer got together. I think it was on the end of, like right before the halfway bonus happened in that race. We're gonna go over Clint Boyer first here. And this is the first race version cars where I have added tape to them, like they got repaired during the race. And so I thought it was pretty cool. I somehow managed, I forget how I did it, but I somehow managed to get a white stripe on the 14 car, but I thought it looked pretty cool. I think this was just masking tape that I used, that I put Sharpie on. Yeah, you can see here, it's just masking tape. Really love the look of tape being on the cars. I kind of miss that we don't have that as often nowadays. Next up is Bubba Wallace in the same crash here. Once again, he got some repairs as well. Same masking tape process as well, and he just got a little bit of scuff up there. I can't believe I didn't blow out the tires on these cars. That's very interesting. Oh, I guess it would make sense that they did put new tires on, so yeah, that's not a big deal, actually. That actually kind of makes sense. Yeah, the Bubba Wallace car doesn't really have that much damage. It just looks like it's the right side there, and then a little bit here on the left front and left rear. But look, you can even see some chalk still on the race. This is back when I made my tracks out of chalk. Oh, wow. Yeah, just a little bit of history there on the cars still. There is Bubba Wallace and Clinton Boyer from Talladega season number 4. All right, now on to the main event for the video here. This is going to be a bit of a struggle for me to pull it into frame here, but I just... this car is in pieces. So, hello to Joey Logano. This is the first ever time I think that I had a driver get injured in a wreck and have a replacement 2 weeks later. And for this one, it was Austin Cindric replacing Joey Logano. This car is in shambles. Literally every single piece of this car is broken and falls apart on its own. So We got both tire sets here. They're just kind of the way they are, but I do have this one set right here. There you go. You can see it's very squished. So yeah, this one also has some squishing action. So these two have seen some better days. So as you can see, complete shambles here. This crash was one of my most popular. Let's see if I can pick it all up at once here. This is one of those Spin Master cars that was really thick. I used this as my Joey Logano car for the first 3 seasons. Here's the new Joey Logano car that I had for 2018. I think it might even be a 2017 car, but I can't remember. And so that's the car that became this, and I replaced it because this was the really thick Spin Master car or whatever it was. And so all the doors are taken off and everything. Honestly, I don't know how I managed to get them all to cleanly be taken off. There is the Season 4 Crash Diecast cars. We're definitely gonna have more episodes of this coming out in the near future. I've always kind of wanted to make videos like this, but I've never really had the ability to do so because I never really figured out how to kind of film this stuff. So I just put everything up on the pool table. It was something, you know, back in 2018 that I thought was really cool, that I was very inspired by Eric Estep doing some damage on his diecast cars. I think it was, well, I forget what season it was, but it was a Daytona race where Jeff Gordon flipped and had damage on the race car, and I thought that was so cool. I needed to replicate that, and I did, and now here we are, what, like 11, 12 years later after that video went up for him, that I'm now making these diecast damaged cars. So thank you all for watching here on the Miscraft channel. Be sure to tune back in for seasons 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I'm super excited to show off the other cars from those seasons. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and we will see you next time. Peace!